Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Non-Stop Tabletop. I always have to do this with my hands, like a little sense of flair, and like non-stop tabletop. You like that? It should make people go,
You're,
"Whoa!"
yeah, you're a flashy guy. It's kind of just
Wait,
This
what
is
you
the
do.
Miniatures Magic Show.
Like this? Oh, true. Ooh, poof. But today we're gonna be talking about something that I know Ryan's gonna be a big fan of today, because the thumbnail is gonna suggest something, and he's gonna be a big fan of it. Today we're talking about. All of us just played a league. We played at Gaia's Cradle back in East Providence. You should go check it out. Pretty cool guys that go there every Saturday and play MCP. Would love to see you. And we play a
We
league.
also go.
Yeah, we also go too. Yeah, that's true. Yep. And we just wrapped up our league, first ever MCP league, and we're gonna be talking about the results of that and what we thought, how everyone did, and everything like that. Sounds good.
That's good to me.
All right.
I think we can do that.
Okay,
I think it's possible.
so we'll go over what everybody played with in MCP and in not, wink, and go over from there, or start from there. So what did we have? I'm gonna start. We had Convocation / Defenders for Jared.
Yeah, because there were 7. It was a hyper competitive 7-man league.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And we did round robin to just determine who won based on points. That was it.
Yep. So we had everybody just play everybody. Did 7 weeks. One guy got a bye every week. And then so we had. I'll start from like this. So Kevin played Midnight Suns. Jared played Convocation and Defenders as a mix-up, which makes sense.
Yep.
Garrett,
Basically the same team.
Garrett played. His was really interesting. His was essentially Crime Boys mixed with Spider Foes, mixed with splashing in a little Black Order. To basically put it blunt.
And Brotherhood. It was just like high cost characters going.
Yeah, his was the most interesting, guaranteed. Not bad, because he actually did pretty well. And keep in mind, this is granted, the 3 of us in here have definitely played the game the most, I believe. And then
Probably.
Jared and Garrett, this was basically their first foray into the game. So then you had Nelson, who started off with straight up Black Order, but then just because we're still learning, we gave a little stipulation where if you wanted to change your list for anything, characters, team tactics cards, crises, whatever you want, you can cash in one league roster change. It has to be the one time, and you have to tell us about it. That's it. So Nelson, I think, was the only one that really went wide with a total character roster change. He went from Black Order to Wakanda.
Mm-hmm.
And it definitely paid off for him, because I think he started doing much better with Wakandans. He was definitely a little bit more comfortable. Ryan played Inhumans, and well, you'll hear a little bit more about that later. I played. You're all gonna be surprised if you've watched all 3 of these. You're gonna be super shocked at what I say. Spider Foes mixed with Crime Syndicate. I know.
Who could have guessed?
Who could have guessed here? And then Ryan, no, not Ryan. Nick played as Guardians of the Galaxy, not Guardians, not as Guardians. He played as Guardians of the Galaxy, which again is pretty fucking cool. So we're gonna go ahead, put Inhumans there. We're gonna put our cute little picture of Kingpin there, and then we're gonna grab as Guardians of the Galaxy. See, I got a little cute photo of the 2. So, who wants to start off, man?
I can go first since I came.
Oh, you
lowest out of
came.
us 3.
All right. So first off, tell us your record. How'd you do?
I went 3-3, which I think ends up being the 3rd best record, but because you and Kevin tied, it puts me in 4th place.
Yeah,
It's not terrible.
So I so I brought Guardians of the Galaxy and Asgard figures. I guess more specifically, I brought in Star-Lord, Gamora, Rocket Groot, Angela, Enchantress, Scourge, Heimdall, and Thor, and Loki.
Okay.
And this is the first time
did Loki have the stone or no?
he did not have the stone.
He did not. Okay.
Star-Lord did have the Power Stone.
Okay.
So.
Now I'll ask I'll ask you guys some questions about your teams and how you did it. What did you feel like you went more into, the Guardian side or the Asgardian side? Because I know you kind of switched it up a lot.
I think I was leaning more into the Asgardian side. This was the first time I played with the Asgardians. Like I literally, my first Asgardian game was the first game of this league that we did, and um, I was trying to just get a feel for them. I think I kind of got a little better of an understanding of what I was kind of doing wrong with them. Um, it is funny because whenever I brought out Guardians, or at least had the affiliation go to the Guardians of the Galaxy, those were the games that I won.
Yeah,
I'm
because
pretty
you
sure.
know you can't go wrong with Guardians of the Galaxy, dude. That pretty much all the good ones were the ones that got updated, which makes sense. Well, Star-Lord definitely did not start off good. In fact, he was pretty trash.
But
But
yeah, his
you know, you want to discard your team tactics cards, right?
yeah, that was it just became more and more apparent through after he was released how bad that was becoming compared to everybody else in the game. Up until
Interesting,
they changed
interesting
it.
design choice. So now, see, my thing every time I saw Asgardians, especially when you were playing him, it always just feels like they just cost too much. And I know you said it too. It's like whenever you play Thor, you just can't bring Angela just because both 5 costs. You're putting 10 threat into 2 of these characters that, you know, especially if you play against like spammy builds like somebody fucking 2 in here. What the hell was that? Anyway.
That's my chair.
Oh yeah, that's always the chair. Anyway, if you play against stuff like Wakandans, they're there. They want to play low threat to kind of spam the board for you. Crime Boys, especially for me, I played a lot of low threat builds, so it was a lot of just a little bit more activations. Did that come up as a problem for you at all?
Yeah, it did in a way. I think yeah, they're tough because they are very expensive affiliation to run. Up until Scourge and Heimdall, they only had a 1/3 cost. So if you were going hard into the Asgardian affiliation, you were taking mostly 4s and 5s. That being said, I think that there is definitely more more flexibility for them than it seems. Taking Angela and Thor, however, yeah, it was. I liked Angela. Thor is strong. I was just like, these guys would be good on the board. But in hindsight, it always turned out to be too much physical damage, too much of a fighty kind of outcome when those two were on the board. Where those strong, they just couldn't handle the extra 2 activations that somebody else would have if they had 5 people and I had 4. Um,
And
and
even though you could heal and stuff, that just granted it's only like one
it was only yeah.
stamina.
So the Asgardian affiliation, for anyone who doesn't know, is that you can spend a power on your turn, each of your turns, to heal, or on the hero that spends the power can heal 1 damage or remove 1 special condition. But they can only do that once per round. So it helps in some cases where you're trying to take off a stagger, but the healing doesn't really felt significant enough to make or break a game. Like sometimes it's good where you can just kind of if a character has a lot of extra power and they have like a damage or 2, you can just kind of heal them and it puts them in a better state than if you didn't. Um, but it didn't seem to change much because of that affiliation leadership. And another thing was that Loki, I only used him twice, so I didn't have great amount of data on this kind of
Boy
thing.
got
But
blasted that first game.
yeah, the first game he didn't do great. He just got pretty much beat. It was
Sorry.
against Ben, but
Every time I attacked him, I just basically dazed him in one shot, and it's like, oh, whoops. Even though you did the reactive this both times, or does he only have it on his injured side with like I'm a
he
god
was
or
running
whatever?
out of. Part of the issue with that game for me was that it was the senator one or it was the witness one
We had the
where
witness
if
one.
they move, they stun. Stunning as guardians is pretty good because then they only get one power turn and they're kind of built off of
Yeah.
Yes, which is great for
So,
me.
um, but so that made it so he was kind of having a hard time doing his reactives. But he was spending power, he was doing things, but he just didn't do
Much.
well at it
And I
because
think you just
when
rolled
I
really
attacked, he
poorly.
didn't get really great rolls.
Hmm.
He was probably out of position. It was, in hindsight, I should have brought him with a stone. Any stone would have made him
That was
better.
gonna be my next changes. With just this list, what changes would you make if you were to make any?
I think I would have maybe I would have given Loki a stone. I might have taken I would have probably taken somebody out and put Valkyrie in. If I wanted to be, it would have been one of the Asgardian or Guardians of the Galaxy being removed to put Valkyrie in because that would have given me a little bit more flexibility in the Asgardians because
Right.
then I would have had 3 costs. Um,
Did you play
that
Scourge
was
and Heimdall at all? I feel like I never saw you
I
use them.
I did use them.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
he played Heimdall against me. Heimdall's really good.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
cool.
I was against Ryan. I was rolling nothing,
It's true.
almost literally. But Heimdall kept me in the game much longer than I probably should have been,
Okay.
and it was kind of funny, um, because even though I was rolling basically bricks and doing awful, I remember we were playing a game next to you, Ben. And it was the one against Garrett, and that one I think you lost and didn't didn't work out too well for you in that one. And I think my point spread, even though I was getting, like I said, was doing awful, was still fairly close until like the very end.
Oh no,
Yeah,
for
it
me,
wasn't
I
too
got
bad
slaughtered.
until right at the end there was just like a swing.
Yeah,
Because eventually there's only so much Heimdall can do for you if you just keep rolling
yeah,
terrible.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and
he was clearly the problem.
All right.
yeah. So it was funny just how he was able to work that well.
Yeah.
I did use him against Kevin's Midnight Suns, and he was doing really well too. And actually, I determined that game that there's a pretty nice little combo you can do with Heimdall and Enchantress where you make Enchantress forcefully move somebody into Heimdall so then he can do his forfend attack for 2 power, and then all of a sudden on Enchantress's turn there's 3 attacks on a character.
That's pretty
That
good.
was good. So
That's good.
so that was kind of
Sounds alright.
yeah. So that was kind of neat with them. I
last.
didn't get to use Meet My Executioner though with Scourge.
Oh, that's a bodyguard, right?
It is it's virtually a brace for impact.
Oh,
But
that's what it
it's
is. That's right.
significantly better. Because for those who don't know that card, it is Enchantress can pay 2 power to move Scourge. Well, so whenever a character would suffer a collision, Enchantress can spend 2 power to place Scourge within one of that character, and Scourge will take the collision damage and roll for the dodge. But the most damage that Scourge can take is 1. So
Oh, so
not
yeah.
too bad of a
Pretty
no,
good.
trade-off.
that is pretty good. So last thing I'll ask about
Yep.
your roster, and then we can move on. Then I'll go next. MVP. Who's your MVP? You have
I
to
would have
pick
to
one.
say Enchantress did a lot. She didn't necessarily win me games, but she was in most of the games, I think. And
Good character.
she's very useful. Yeah, and I'll give an honorable mention. There was one game where I had Rocket, and I think I pretty much won the game because of his booby trap ability. I've got the name of it
Ah, you said
exactly. but
booby.
yeah, it was it basically KO'd it dazed the character when I needed him to daze a character, and I'd never usually roll damage on those, so that was
Let's go.
he's honorable
Pretty
mention,
sick.
but Enchantress did a lot. So
W-
yeah,
Enchantress always makes sense. She's a pain in the ass every time she goes on the board. Not as much as Angela to me. I hate her so much. I want her to fly away.
Same.
But and Ryan hates her for a different reason. All right, so
Oh yeah.
enough hearing about Nick. I hate him, and I'm sick of hearing from his voice box. It pisses me off. So we're gonna go on to me, who I'm the winner in my head, but I know that's not the case.
In reality, you're not.
No,
Pretty
definitely
close though.
third. I'm the third winner in my head. That's how it is. So I came in third. I played Crime Boys. I came. I'm keep saying I came. 4-2. So not too bad. Higher than 50% win rate. Not doing too bad. The two games I lost, it was honestly on me. And my opponents just outplayed me very, very, very well. Like, I got to give him all the credit in the world, especially Garrett. I'm going to say it. For a kid that just picked up this game, he's a natural. So shout out to Garrett. You son of a bitch. I'll get you next time. Kevin's just amazing. The kid has been playing war games forever. So like the dude's just a natural. So I hate you too.
Yeah.
You played Midnight Suns
Yeah.
very well. So I hate
Fuck
you
that
both.
guy.
Everybody else I beat, they deserve it, and I hate them. So, you know, especially Ryan. That felt great because especially when you hear his record, we're not gonna say it. It's pretty obvious, but I'm pretty happy about it. Hold on, let me flex really quick.
Yeah.
Ah!
Not tilted at all.
No, well, we know why you lost that time, and it wasn't because of Crime Boys. It was because of a certain character that you said you hated before. Nah, I'm fucking around with you guys, obviously. Yeah, I played Crime Boys. I played both leaderships. Realistically, I played half of my games with Kingpin, half of my games with Daredevil, just because I wanted to mess around with it. I'm usually very comfortable with Kingpin. Kingpin with the Crime Boys is the team I definitely know the most. I've played it, oh, Jesus Christ, at least 15 times at least. And obviously that doesn't sound like a lot, but you know, for a game where you sit there and you play for 2+ hours a game, you kind of get to know them a little bit more. I played, if we're just going to say, like, for our homies quick, it was Kingpin, Daredevil, Taskmaster, Lizard, Hawkeye, which, I'll just say it straight out. Hawkeye was my MVP. Every time
that guy.
Every time he was on the
hate that
board,
character.
every time he was on the board, he just did every little thing I needed him to. Green Goblin was a close second for me. Guy, every time he hit the board, dude, I love Green Goblin. He failed me one time, and that was it. MODOK, shit. Mysterio.
Bullseye.
Thank you. Bullseye, the character you literally only bring because he's a 2-cost. No other reason. That's the only reason why you're ever gonna bring him for me. He's fine. That Benny P for me, that's why I call him. He is the utter definition of fine. I don't know what else to say about Bullseye. I love the fact that he's a 2-cost. Just so you could slot him and then you could bring in wild cards. Like I brought in Lizard a lot, especially with Kingpin, because he just sits there and he counts for 2. And it's so hard to get rid of him with a medium base and a medium move and healing factor. And he throws stuff and he can throw characters. I also love Lizard.
Lizard's really good.
Yes, he is very good for Crime Syndicate.
Yes. Sadly, he didn't care about crime. He wants to make people lizards, and that's all he cared about.
I don't see any crime in that.
No, I see nothing wrong with it. So I could technically have played Spider Foes, but there honestly was no reason to, because their cards aren't that great. Sinister Traps is funny. That's about it. The healing, the patch up is fine. Like their version of patch up is fine. And then their leadership is fine. Like what else can you really say about it? I vastly prefer with the 3-3 I did for the leaderships, I vastly prefer Kingpin. He's just such a nuisance. Just like the leadership of what he does, the homies count for two. So especially, you know, when you're playing the witnesses, when there's only two of them, you only really need one body on one of them, potentially, and then that still is a nuisance for other players to have to deal with. So he's just such like a piece of shit, honestly. Kingpin, don't get me wrong, Daredevil is still a great leader, but I don't think I'd bring, let's say it like this, I don't think I would bring Daredevil into a Kingpin list, and I don't think I would ever bring Kingpin into a Daredevil list. The reason why I say that is they are two extremely different teams, two vastly different rosters. If I ever play Crime Boys again, and I am definitely going to play them again, not the next league, we'll talk about that in a minute, it would be one or the other, and it would be devoted to what that list is. And Kingpin's got it, man. It's just, I feel like he just does more. It like the crises have to be a little bit different. Like if I play Daredevil, I'd definitely have to play Hammers, just in case. I would definitely have to bring other things. Definitely not Witnesses. Witnesses does dog shit for Daredevil, where it does a lot for Kingpin. It's just, and that type of play just doesn't really appeal to me. Like just like try to swing more kind of thing. I like to just sit there. My characters just want to sit and do nothing. Just have a margarita and just hang out. And I couldn't bring my big goopy man. I couldn't bring my big goopy man that I said I love so much.
It's true.
Who am I to say?
Carnage wasn't there.
Oh, true. No, because Carnage is dog shit. That's why. Yeah, he's bad. Whereas Venom, my goopiest of men, I couldn't bring because I just couldn't find the space to do Daredevil and Kingpin stuff. MODOK, I'm going to say it. Every time I brought in MODOK, especially after the nerf you got, for the 5 threat that you're paying for him, I feel like he just doesn't do it for me anymore. Whereas like other 5 threats like Angela and Doctor Strange, I feel like just do a little bit more.
Yeah, MODOK, he...
Aim
I don't know
Lackeys
about
is
him.
really good.
Oh, yes.
The card. That's really good, especially if you play... Oh, Zemo! Baron Zemo it was the last one.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Thank you.
that-
And
That's really the MVP of the
he should be.
tournament, and everyone had him except for a few.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, yes.
I think it was just me and Ryan. Actually, yeah, I think it was just me and Ryan.
Yeah, because Jared
Yeah, pretty much everyone ran him.
Jared ran him, Kevin ran him, I ran him, Nelson ran him, and I think Garrett. Yeah, I think Garrett did too. I don't remember.
He'd be
actually.
good on my roster. I just didn't bring him because
Yeah, put him
I
with
should've-
put him
I
with
should've brought him.
He's
Inhumans.
just good in general.
Put him in Inhumans. You just get 2 free rerolls. So that's it. If I were to make a change, I said it. That would be my change. Is I would run one list and not the other one. It would be full Daredevil or full Kingpin.
Yeah.
It can't. You definitely can't do a mix.
One thing with the new Daredevil too is that we did find that there was some I don't know, there's some exploits that you could do as the enemy player, where so for me I had Angela against your Daredevil, and KOing those grunts gives
Still
her
counts.
it still gives her the angelic assassin
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
proc. So she was getting 3 attacks almost every turn.
Playing against
because-
Black Order, they still count
And
as a
Black
character.
Order
just killed
and
him.
get a victory point for every time they kill him. And that that gets a little tough sometimes, I would think. I know you did beat a Black Order list, but there was
And I played Daredevil, and I never brought out, or I brought the grunts at the very end when I was trying to secure the kill on Proxima. That's
Yeah,
the
so-
only time I did it.
so you had to kind of like restrict yourself because of that.
Yeah.
And
Whereas,
that's not
okay.
great, if you know what I mean. Because
Yeah.
obviously you're paying points wise for that.
Yeah, and if I'm playing against Black Order, I'd rather play a Kingpin list where the whole point is to kind of sit there, hang back, and just let them come to me. Black Order being the team that's trying to do a kill more list, so you just run the big beefy men, which we all know I like big beefy men. So It always works.
Bet you do.
So MVP, like we said before, quick we said it as passing. Hawkeye, literally every time he was brought on the table for me, whether with Kingpin or with Daredevil, he was amazing. I love him to death. He's great with Kingpin because if you play on the secure, what is it, F or D, where it's the four points.
Yeah, there's a few of those.
Yeah. So if you have him all the way back at the far corner. You could bring him there for free essentially with the hook arrow. So he gets placed within 3. He can take 2 shots from range 5. So it's like, oh my god. And then you could give the character slow, shock, bleed or poison. So it's like, Jesus Christ, what can't this guy do? He's so fun. And then with Daredevil, what I'd like to do is I would put Daredevil on the Daredevil list. I would put Hawkeye and Baron Zemo together. So at the beginning of the game, potentially, if I play it right, I could get 2 rerolls, one of which being a skull to try to secure at least 1 wild with Hawkeye, just so I could put slow on somebody, just so they couldn't catch up to me. It just, oh my god, like the possibilities are endless with characters like that, like Star-Lord, Green Goblin, Arnim Zola. He's coming out soon. Yeah, the Hydra Nazi boy. He's with fucking. He looks like Krang.
TV face.
So big dumbass. Which I'm excited to play those 2. They won't be out in time for the next league, so unfortunately can't use them. But yeah, Crime Boys, very nice. They did exactly what I wanted them to. Mishaps on my ends. Definitely could have done a little bit better. But regardless, I got outplayed with those 2 anyway. They played much better than me those days. So, hell yeah. Give them credit where credit is due. Now, go ahead, Ryan.
Went 5-1, and I got first place.
You didn't have to add the first place part, but okay.
Yeah, I got first place by dominating my friends in a friendly league.
Oh, how'd we play? How'd that go?
You guys are all trash. Even the guy I lost to.
Ah, there it is. Yeah, but like I said...
there were a lot of really good games during the league. I played Inhumans. My roster was Black Bolt, Medusa, Lockjaw, Hulk, Angela, Doctor Strange, Enchantress, Brother Voodoo, Luke Cage, and Wong. Out of those 10 characters, I only ever brought... What was it? 3, 4... I only ever brought 6 of them. And... the one game I lost because I brought Angela and she literally refused to roll any good dice for me. I have a particularly bad track record with the Origin Bombs Crisis, where I always roll skulls and I miss the Origin Bombs constantly, even if there's no one next to them. So Angela missed an Origin Bomb twice. One of the times she got hit for a damage, and she has, 12 health total. She got attacked like 5 times, and I think over the course of those attacks she blocked 4 total damage. Like, she got nuked, she didn't kill anyone, she basically did nothing for me, and if I had brought anyone else, I think I would have just been in a better position.
Yeah.
So if we're talking about team changes, there's a lot of team changes I make. I'll get into that in a second, but every single game I brought Black Bolt, Medusa, Lockjaw. I think Medusa and Lockjaw are absurd positioning characters. Lockjaw obviously can teleport anyone within 3 of their current position, which is nuts. And then Medusa has the ability to place her or a character within 2 of her within 1 of the other character. She can place any character more than... she can't place any character more than once. She can place more than 1 character. So she can kind of ladder herself or ladder another character using herself. And she has the ability to throw characters size 3 or less. So not only can she reposition herself and your allies, she can also reposition your opponents. So I think all of that combined makes her a ridiculous utility unit. And then Lockjaw on Inhuman specifically is a great power battery. Black Bolt's leadership lets you move an energy from one ally to another ally within 3 once essentially per activation. So you use him as a power battery, which lets Medusa move people on turn 1. So on turn 1, if you have Lockjaw, Medusa, and 2 other characters, you get to move all 4 of your characters within your first 2 activations, and it puts you so far ahead that it's sort of like hard to not be in a winning spot, at least during round 1. Like during round 1, usually it's a lot of positioning stuff where you don't get to attack each other that much. When you have Medusa and Lockjaw on the board, plus Black Bolt, whose builder is range 4, it gives you the ability to sometimes even daze characters on round 1. And that puts you in a really good position to then KO that character the next turn. And now, even though I don't think I ever brought more than 4 characters, I never felt like I was down on activations because I was able to KO things so quick because I was able to place characters early in the game. So I really love that part of the affiliate. I also just like the characters, so it's kind of nice that they don't suck, at least in my opinion.
What about Crystal and Miss Marvel though? They're great.
I don't care for them.
That's a shame. That's the worst.
Well, you technically could bring Ronan too, can't you? He's on their affiliation.
Yeah, Ronan and Quicksilver are the other affiliation characters. I'm actually I think I'm gonna bring Quicksilver next league. He's got some cool. His ability to run, as long as he doesn't have an objective, is essentially a third Medusa and Lockjaw. Because if you use Lockjaw to place him within 3, give him a power, and then on activation 1 he makes a free large movement, he can make it across the entire map in one go. And start attacking characters that haven't even activated yet.
Yeah, that's so cool. I love that.
So that could be neat. But overall, the team, those 2 characters performed extremely well. Angela is literally my least favorite character I've ever used. I don't know. She just decided that I'm not the person who's gonna play her.
She said that ain't it, Chief, and she's like, I'm good. Nah, bro.
Enchantress can come out of the roster because everything she does, Brother Voodoo does, except for getting the extra power. But he's tankier. His objective drop thing is better than hers.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Daniel thing alone is just so good.
So in terms of 4 costs who essentially do the same thing, she does have slightly better range than him, but overall he just does everything better. So Enchantress and Angela coming off, 1 because there's a better option and 1 because I hate her. I technically ran dual affiliations. I ran Defenders in the list, and I did have a Defenders Team Tactics card in my list, but I never once brought them because if I brought that affiliation, I wasn't going to be able to fit Medusa and Lockjaw into the list every time, and they were sort of too good as utility units to not bring. Had a lot of really good games, really close games that I would have lost if I didn't have the utility available to me.
Yeah, I was gonna say you and Nelson went the fucking distance too at the end with him playing Wakandans.
Right when he changed to Wakandans, I don't think I was ever in a position to lose the game, but Nelson made me work for it really, really hard. Part of it being that Enchantress and Medusa for 1 round just decided to stop being good characters. And I tried to kill Sherry 3 different times and couldn't. It just didn't work, but that was a really good game. I don't think I really had any bad games. Oh, I blew out Garrett on round 1 through no fault of his own. I just, like I said, the ability to he likes running big characters. I lost priority and he flipped a 14 cost game. So I was just able to choke him out of being able to play what he wanted to play. And then round 1, I was able to move Black Bolt twice before he did anything, and he just one-shotted Magneto. At which point, there's nothing you can do about that.
No, then it's just man.
That's just bad luck. I hit Magneto with my builder twice, and he died. It happens.
I don't know why you're so mean to the elderly, but that's fine.
He hadn't been through enough yet.
And he went through the Holocaust.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Wow, it's very telling.
The game against Ben was really good, really close.
But you got Angela.
Yeah, just
And you
some
were the
very
one playing
unfortunate
her.
Angela. Yeah, I get Angela no matter who's playing her.
That and
But yeah,
Hawkeye just
I had
went
a lot of
in,
fun.
but yeah. So
Hawkeye was really good.
did you say who your MVP was? It was Angela, right? No,
No, that was my LVP,
Oh.
least valuable player.
Medusa.
My MVP was easily Medusa. She's ridiculous. Her builder being able to hit twice if you roll a crit in a wild is absurd, especially when she's an inhuman, so she always gets a reroll. So if you roll one of them, there's like a solid chance you get the second one, and then you just do it again. So even though she only hits for 5 on her builder, it's like, well, I hit you for 5, and I rolled 2 wilds and a crit, so I'm going to push you, and then I'm going to do the same attack again. Oh, I rolled another wild, I'm going to push you again, and then I'm going to throw some other character, and then I'm going to do 2 more builders because I rolled the tits. So, and that happened more often than it probably should have. So, she's just a good character. That's all there is.
Well, there we go, man. And that's coming from the winner, which feels pretty good. So now let's look ahead. We're gonna be wrapping up soon, but we're gonna go ahead and talk about the future really quick. Nick, to put you on the spot, what's your plan off the top of your head for season 2?
Think about it more. I might bring in the Web Warriors. I haven't used them in a while, so I like to mix it up. I'm a sucker for the Guardians though, so I usually have a feeling I'm probably just gonna bring them again. But we'll see.
How dare you play what you like, you piece of shit. Ryan, what's your plan for the future? Season 2.
I don't want to mess around with A-Force, but I'm not going to lie, Black Bolt's going to be on that 10-man roster, just in case.
He's gonna be the prettiest A-Force woman on the planet.
Yeah, I mean, the base roster, like, I for Inhumans, I had 3 characters I brought every time. It was Black Bolt, Medusa, and Lockjaw. When I play A-Force, it's going to be She-Hulk, Medusa, and Lockjaw, and then a third... and then an A-Force character to give me the affiliation, like...
Okoye, if you had her. That's about it.
Okoye, Shuri, Black Cat, all very good options. Captain Marvel. A-Force has good options.
Whoa, Captain Marvel.
And then,
Just be careful about binary form.
yeah, well, I'll actually remember to use it, so
Shut
that'll
up.
probably help me out.
No,
a
don't
little
use
bit.
it. It's pointless.
Yeah,
It's bad.
yeah. When I played Captain Marvel, when we were playing, I was playing Steve Avengers for a while. I was like, I don't fucking see the point in binary form. It's so stupid. And like, it finally clicked in my head when I saw somebody else use it, and I was like, oh, that's why you use it. And didn't go. Sometimes I have bad judgment. Sometimes, if it's not Crime Boys, I have like the worst judgment on the planet. Me for the
Or it
future.
just melts.
It does. Speaking of bad judgment, no, because apparently they did pretty well at NashCon, I think. I'll be playing Winter Guard because I do love me not only some big goopy men, I love me some big burly Russian men as well, especially with ones that are big bears.
Actually, just bears.
Just bears.
A literal bear. So I've been wanting Winter Guard. The second they were announced, I was like, I want to play this team so bad. I can't wait to see it and then be forced to play with them for the 7 weeks if I don't like them. So because now I'm taking that one change. It's gone, man. As league,
Yeah, we've had a season. Everyone knows how to list build now.
That was for the
One
newbies.
newcomer. You should let him do it. But
do we have a new person?
isn't Dave gonna play the next one?
Oh, he
Yeah,
might.
I think we're thinking of having 8 this time. Yeah.
Oh well. I'll give
even more competitive. 8 whole people.
I'll give the new people 1. They get the 1. Everybody else, screw you. It's my goddamn thing, and I have a gavel. Bah. All right. So enough fun. Now we're gonna go into the other fun, and we always like to highlight stuff here. We're big fans, so we're gonna highlight some painting. We're gonna start off. We have 2. We're gonna start off with Ryan this time, and I think Nick also brought us something to share. So, Ryan, what are we going to be talking about? What are you going to show me?
I think I'm showing you Daredevil.
You are showing me Daredevil, and it's kind of like I already had
I'm
it
showing
queued.
you your own Daredevil.
Whoa! So, speaking of Daredevil, and speaking of my list, this was the Daredevil I ran in all of his Ronald McDonald glory.
Yeah,
I
classic '60s Daredevil.
he usually paints all my stuff now. I said we both don't like the Shadowlands Daredevil stuff, so I said fuck it. I don't want him to look like Shadowlands Daredevil. Give him the style of the '60s rendition of Daredevil, and he said, "I bet," and I think he nailed it. I think it looks pretty good, man.
Came out pretty good. Thanks. Yellow is a hard color to work with. I learned that the hard way.
Unfortunately, you
But-
can't see his defined ass.
Yeah, he has an exceptionally defined ass.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to modernize the costume a little bit because there's little bits and bobs stuck around it, but I think it came out pretty good.
Hey man, I think it
I
looks
like that.
great. I wish I wish that model was a little bit better, like the first Daredevil was, where
Yeah,
there's
like
a little
dynamic in any way,
Not
instead of
just-
standing there.
standing there menacingly. So I love it.
It was very weird when they revealed him, how they just had like, they're going like crazy with the models, and then it's like, here's Shadowlands Daredevil, and he's like, okay,
I have
standing
sticks.
there.
Yeah, he literally
assume it-
turns into a demon at one point, but nah, we're just gonna have him stand there.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that was just an older design that was in the queue earlier than a lot of the other ones or something, and
Maybe.
Like that was
Just
the
came out later.
prototype for the first Daredevil, and they were like, "Fuck it, we don't know what else to do." Just
well, they've mentioned
do it.
how sometimes their design, they start a character before. They have mentioned that they
Way before they
started characters
release
way
them.
before they actually get released, and that they've actually like started new characters since starting that first one, and getting those characters released before that first character. So
Yeah.
it's sometimes something slips through where it's really older than it seems.
And it shows. So hats off, clap, golf clap. We love it. Thank you very much. So now, Nick, you brought us something to the table too. This is the first time. What did you bring to me today? I hope it's not a block of Swiss cheese
Nope, it's a spider guy.
in front of a block of Swiss cheese.
Yes. Yeah, I painted Miles a while ago. But since I was thinking of bringing Web Warriors, I thought it would be good to showcase him.
Oh, I thought you
See
were
that-
just highlighting the newspaper thing.
Yes,
Oh.
I think I did a pretty good job with the newspaper dispenser.
No, it looks awesome. Yeah, keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, so it was one of the first ones I think I've really painted, like first or second, or yeah, it must
it
be the
was a
second
while
one.
ago.
Yeah,
really good.
I did it a while ago, and it was I remember how, as you could probably guess, the spider webbing on him, that was that took a lot of patience to get through. Because the thing is, for the Miles model, is that his web is raised from the majority of the model, so you have to try to keep the lines on the webbing, whereas for the normal Spider-Man, the Peter Parker Spider-Man, those web lines are recessed into the model, so you can kind of get away with it with some washing, like if you use like a black
Yeah.
wash and let it pool in there, and you can kind of get the web effect. So that was a little tough with him. But yeah, I liked how he came out. It
Well-
worked well enough, at least on the table.
I think it looks very good too, and
Thanks.
I can't wait to punch his face in with Crimson Dynamo when I see him.
I don't
So-
know. He seems to always give you some issues whenever
He
You play
fucks my
against him.
wife, and he fucks my wife really hard. So don't you
True.
worry.
one of the
uh,
better 3 costs, in my opinion.
It's really good.
He is very good. Same with Spider Gwen, very good. And they're both same pack. Really sucks.
High value.
Yeah, super high value in that one. So, all right, that is gonna do it. If you guys have ever experienced anything with the league or anything, let us know. Give us a suggestion of what we should play, and we might listen to you. We might, but we'll probably still play with what we want. Always remember, like, comment, subscribe, hit that goddamn bell. You know the rules. You know the spiel at this point. Not just from me, but from like every other YouTuber on the planet. But it works, right? Thank you guys.
Fair.
Really appreciate it. And remember, always make sure to roll them crits, and you'll always win. Peace out, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.